Hello and welcome back to the Roman Cinema podcast where we watch the top movie each week and then we come on here and chat about it. So we just got done watching the Bob's Burgers movie and to start it off, what'd you think?
Whoo, boy. Yeah, what did you think?
It was a movie.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Have you seen the show before?
Yeah, I've seen the show before, so there's a few a few of those little inside things where it's like, hey, I've seen this, I know that, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think some of the jokes were really funny. Like just in like a kind of way, you know?
Yeah.
Not like peeing my pants hilarious, but
Not like a guffaw, more like a chuckle, you know?
yeah. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say that it was not good because it really wasn't that bad.
No.
It was entertaining for sure. I mean, it's just not like a showstopper. Like, oh my gosh, I got to see this again, you know?
Yeah, it's far from fine cinema, I would say, but it's not like you're going to walk out of there being like, man, that was a waste. Like, no, but you just have to know what you're getting into, and what you're getting into is just the weirdest episode of Bob's Burgers you could craft.
Exactly. It's kind of interesting that you said that it's like an episode, because a lot of the reviews that I was reading were also comparing it. It was basically like a long episode. So a review from Collider.com said, while the story could have likely been handled through an episode or two of the show, the Bob's Burgers movie allows more time to have fun and explore these characters more than a typical episode would be able to do. I don't know. I can't say that I would agree because I've actually never seen the show, but I don't even know what to say. Like,
yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, they definitely tried to make it different from the show by having a few musical numbers thrown into the movie.
Yeah, that was
a decision.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know. I guess music is part of some of those characters though, so it's like,
yeah.
I guess
I don't know. I felt like there was maybe like, there might have been too many. I think the perfect amount of musical numbers to have in this movie would probably be 0.
Yeah.
Anything above that is dead wrong, but I don't know. It just felt like it like there were times where I was like, this is like the show. This feels very grounded. This feels like they know what they're doing. And then there were other times where I'm like, wow, this could not be more different from everything the show tries to be. And so it just felt so conflicting.
Yeah. So for a little context, the synopsis of this movie, the Bob's Burgers movie is an animated big screen musical, comedy, mystery, adventure based on the long-running Emmy-winning series. The story begins with a ruptured water main, creating an enormous sinkhole right in front of Bob's Burgers, blocking the entrance indefinitely and ruining the Bleeckers' plan for a successful summer. While Bob and Linda struggle to keep the business afloat, the kids try to solve a mystery that could save their family's restaurant. As the dangers mount, these underdogs help each other find hope and fight to get back behind the counter where they belong. And continuing from this review from Collider.com, every family member has to be brave against some scenarios full of uncertainty. But they aren't a solo act. They support one another, and how they come together shows that this movie wears a big heart on its animated sleeve. And yeah, I mean, it was just like a fun little movie. Like they were, they all worked together. I feel like the plot really wasn't that deep.
No, yeah.
It wasn't like suspenseful at all, I didn't think. But
no, I would say it was mindless, but in the best way possible, honestly. Like there's just I don't want to sound mean, but it's like there's just not a lot to it, and that's wonderful. There didn't need to be. You just you go in there, there's some one-liners, there's some funny stuff, you go ha, and then you leave. And you're like, oh, I need to refill my popcorn, and then you go home, and then you probably don't remember anything that happened, but that's fine because you can just go watch some episodes at home.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like that's a great way to describe it. That it just feels like you're kind of just sitting down to watch some TV like after a long day.
Which I mean,
like, just to chill.
Yeah, and when you're transporting a TV show to the big screen like that, it's like, is that the end goal, I would argue yes. Probably you want to have that same feel, that same vibe. I got that same feel, that same vibe for the most part. So I don't know. I think because yeah, like a lot of adaptations to movie usually subscribe to the, ideas of just movies in general. If you're putting a book to a movie, you try to make it like a good movie, and you like you just transport the story. A video game to a movie is like usually what we see is that they just try to make it a movie with these characters, and those aren't done as well, but they're done in a very similar way. But with TV to movie, it's weird because like how much of a movie do you want to be? Like it's a hard balance to find. And I thought if they like it took a direction and it went for it pretty well.
Yeah, the review kind of talks about exactly what you're saying. When bringing popular animated shows to film, it seems like the common belief that the film has to be bigger and wilder than what the audience can see from the comfort of their home. With a bigger screen comes bigger stakes, consequences, and adventure. But Bob's Burgers has never been like other animated shows. Bob's Burgers certainly has its wild scenarios, but also the type of show that can focus exclusively on a father and daughter bonding over a series of samurai films, a young girl's crush on a boy, or the Bleeckers family attempting to keep their business profitable. Despite the occasional talking toilets or the national singing of several songs about Thanksgiving, Bob's Burgers is typically a low-key, charming affair that prioritizes character and family dynamics over absurd concepts. Which is kind of what you were saying. Like, you don't necessarily have to, do something crazy because you're bringing the TV show to the big screen. Like, it can just stay true to what it is.
Yeah, you don't have to put a dome over the city and send them to Alaska. You can just work with what you have and go from there.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah, for sure. And a movie web review kind of comments on the style of this movie as well. Aside from an increased budget in animation, including adding shadows to give a level of depth and distinguish it from a standard episode, the Bob's Burgers movie crafts a story that feels appropriately large scale, embracing a classic cinematic genre and offering new insights into the characters that feel too big for a standard episode. This is why the Bob's Burgers movie is more than just an extended episode. I agree with this to a certain extent, but also it is like an extended episode. But it does, like this review said, that it does allow to develop depth in the characters and, just kind of play on the emotion a little bit more.
Yeah. And they also throw in musical numbers to differentiate itself.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This movie also involves higher stakes than typical episodes. The mystery involves numerous twists and turns and does not enter the main storyline until about 20 minutes in, the average runtime for an episode. When the mystery is solved, the Bleeckers as a family unit are put in actual danger and their lives threatened, which is a contrast to the rather everyday troubles of the series. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. There's not a whole lot of life-threatening danger in the show. Which, for better or for worse, that's just how it is.
Yeah, and even though it was, like, life-threatening, it wasn't that dramatic, really.
Yeah, it's very, tongue-in-cheek, like, look at this. Not to spoil anything, but it's just, it acknowledges how kind of silly it is, and it plays into it.
Yeah, it just was light and satisfying, with everything that happened, and then the way that they kind of brought it all together. It just was like an easy, fun watch.
For the most part, I will say there were a few times where there are very few times where I need to like take a break from a movie, and I did not think this would be the one, but it was, where I just need to get up, which, that's like not everyone reacts that way, but like I did. I was surprised by that. I was like, this has had some decent highs, but man, I need to leave for a second.
Yeah. I I don't know. It was a short-ish movie. It was an hour and 47 minutes.
Definitely one of the shorter ones we've watched. Well,
But even so, being, a shortish movie, it's felt long, kind of. Like, I think some parts move too fast and then some parts move too slow.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. I thought it moved at a pretty decent pace. Like, there was never. I don't think there was a point where I was like sitting there like, okay, can we get through this? Like, is this over? Can we move to the next thing? Like, I never really felt that way. I don't think, but I don't really remember much of the movie already, so I can't speak on that.
Yeah, but so there's a bigger budget for animation, and again, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know how it compares, but I did think the visuals were nice and they were good. It was just well done, I thought.
Yeah, there was a lot of movement, which when you get to like an animated series that like is successful like that, like one thing you notice while watching a lot of like if you watch like newer seasons of Family Guy, for example, the characters don't really move. They just have like three default poses that they stay in. One of my favorite things is that if you look at like a season of like newer Family Guy and like you just look when like somebody's talking and there's another character on screen, the other character does not blink or change facial expression in the slightest. It's hilarious. But when you get to a movie like this, there's just a lot of movement and there's a lot of facial expression because you have a little more time and a little more to work with there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
A
I
little
thought they
more
did a good
budget.
job. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And then, as always, I thought the voice acting was really well done because it really matched the vibe that they were going, the really dry humor and just like the monotone,
Yeah.
which obviously presenting jokes, it matters how you say it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was well done as well. The movie web review goes on to say that the Bob's Burgers movie isn't exactly breaking new ground for this world and these characters, but instead is showing how impeccably crafted and brilliant this world is when firing on all cylinders. So, yeah, with a big budget, obviously they can do better than a regular TV show. And I think that showed.
Yeah. Didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Like
Exactly.
like the review said, like didn't have to do anything that like was never seen before, or that, like nobody was expecting. Like it was just, yeah, no need to be too, it wasn't too big at any point.
Yeah. And so this movie was originally announced in 2017, and then the film had been long delayed due to the acquisition of 20th Century Fox by Disney and the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm sure all the diehard Bob's Burgers fans, all three of you out there, were waiting on this movie, and I hope it delivered.
Yeah. The film earned a respectable $14 million over the holiday weekend. Last weekend.
That's not bad when you're competing against an absolute juggernaut in Top Gun. I would say that's a respectable performance.
For sure, yeah. So, any final thoughts on Bob's Burgers?
Not really.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, it's just a mindless movie that if you think too hard about it, you're not going to enjoy it because you're not supposed to think too hard about it. It's just supposed to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're just supposed to, immerse yourself in the whimsical scenarios, the fun of the movie. It takes place, on a pier and like a burger shop. I mean, those are cool places.
Yeah, and I think it's good for the whole family too. Like it's rated PG-13, but
yeah,
I didn't think it was inappropriate at all.
No, not really. Like
I just think like if they were younger, it would a lot of the jokes would just fly over.
Yeah, a lot of the jokes that like make it PG-13 would kind of just be like, in one ear out the other, because and that's true of the show as well, where like it's adult, quote unquote adult animation, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that really like makes you go, oh, that's appalling. At least for me personally.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was gonna be like a little more inappropriate or like a little more adult.
Yeah.
They didn't like swear or anything even.
No, like I'm like struggling to think of like A moment where they did.
where it was like inappropriate or anything.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, and it was just like, yeah, it was just nice and neutral. It wasn't like raunchy or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Top Gun Maverick is still playing. We talked about that last week, and it's just an incredible movie, and you got to come out and see it if you haven't.
I saw it again the day after we did the podcast.
Yeah, I am itching to go again.
It's-
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Sorry, Bob's Burgers. We're gonna do a whole nother podcast about Top Gun. Actually, right now.
Literally. Oh my gosh.
We could. There's enough to
can't
talk
get
about.
over
I'm
it.
sure.
I can't get over it. It just was so good. Downton Abbey is still playing, A New Era. Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness is still here, and The Bad Guys. So yeah, a couple good options, or all good options. Doctor Strange is obviously very good. The Bad Guys is a fun one for the whole family, and Downton Abbey and Top Gun, of course.
Yeah, get Bad Guys, because pretty soon we'll be getting a new kids movie in Lightyear.
That comes out not next week, but the week after.
All right, so yeah, if you're itching to see The Bad Guys, get that one in and
Yeah,
prepare yourself for the experience that will be Lightyear.
Yeah, Lightyear is going to be exciting. And then next week we have Jurassic World Dominion coming. Are you excited for this movie?
I'm not. I haven't seen a single other Jurassic movie, if I'm being completely honest with you, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's. I don't know how to properly convey my feelings on this movie. It's like, I'm interested, but it's like I feel like if I watch the one previous, I'll have a pretty good idea of like the exact same thing I'm gonna see in this next one. You know, like, because it's the third one, so it's got to be that, like, you know, trilogy ender, and so it's like, you know, it seems very formulaic, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. If you have time, you should watch Jurassic Park before we watch this, because that's one of me and my brother's favorite movies of all time. Like, love that movie. So in a way, I'm excited to see this, but also
Jeff Goldblum's in this one, right? Yeah, he is. He's in the trailers. Yeah.
yes, he is.
I like. I like Jeff Goldblum.
Well, yeah. So I'm hesitant because I love the first one so much that I'm worried.
It's that nostalgia thing where
Yeah.
they're gonna maybe feed too much into the whole nostalgia thing, and it's like
Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, I'm excited to see it, just to see what they can do, and I think it has a good cast too. And that's coming out next Thursday, and tickets are on sale now for that as well. So definitely get your tickets to that and come out and see. And if you haven't seen Top Gun or Bob's Burgers or any of the other movies, it's a great time to come see them to kick off summer. So I think school's out now in the area.
Oh yeah, it's summer, baby.
Yeah, so perfect time for the movies. Yeah, anything else to say?
A good slate of them coming out. You can get yourself on a little hot streak. You can see Jurassic World. You can see Lightyear. You can see whatever else comes out. There's a lot of movies coming out. It's good.
Elvis, The Black Phone. There's a lot of really good releases this month. So
This month alone, not even including the rest of summer.
Exactly.
Oh my, oh me.
yeah, I'm excited for Elvis.
That one actually does look good.
Yeah, because have you seen The Great Gatsby? The remake?
I have seen The Great Gatsby.
Did you like it?
Well, I watched it in my AP literature class, so like.
So did I.
Yeah, so.
But I
you know,
loved it.
It's very stylized, and I mean it's Baz Luhrmann, so anything he makes is going to be very stylized. So I'm curious to see this Elvis one. Did you see who's going to be on the soundtrack for this Elvis movie?
Yeah, Doja Cat.
Yeah, what I feel like if you're making a movie about Elvis, you know what you need for the soundtrack? Elvis.
But
That's it.
But have you heard the song that Doja Cat made? Vegas?
No, I haven't, but I know Denzel Curry's also.
Oh,
I
it's
really
so
like
good.
Denzel.
It's
So.
so good. Which makes me so excited for the movie. And Austin Butler's. So.
All right, yeah, good week to see a movie.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.